wanted to talk about my next paintings that are peonies. I saw some paintings of them. They're difficult to paint, and I still think mine have a bit of a rose feel, but peonies are one of my favorite flowers, along with daisies, and especially really exotic flowers. I love orchids, so I plan on doing some more paintings with a few orchids. I have the peonies in the vase. It's like a white vase with blue fancy designs on it. It's done very impressionistic as well as kinesthetic. I guess, my biggest thing about this painting is, yes, the peonies are in there because they are a really beautiful flower, and if anybody's had peonies before, they know that they're really fragrant. If you've noticed, they're really fragrant. You can walk in the front yard. And I used to have a house with a yard that on either side all the peonies were lined up in bushes, and you could just, during the summertime when you walk, you could just smell them. And we had red and pink, and I think we had a couple white plants, which seemed to be, you didn't see a lot of white peonies. The thing I found out about peonies is they have a symbiotic relationship with ants. They can't flower or open, so if you're having that problem, it's because you killed all your ants. Or your ants went away. I shouldn't say you killed them all. But they have a symbiotic relationship with them. If you've noticed, because I've tried it and it is sweet, on the end of, when your bulbs have an open jet on your peonies, there's like little white dewy bulbs. There's little white things that look like dew. Not even white, they're see-through, they're like crystal. And it's almost like the plant's dewing on the end. But what that is, if I understand peonies right, from what I've read, they can't open with all that stickiness. And ants will actually harvest that. They will come up and they'll eat it, and they'll lick it because it's really sweet. And yes, I sucked on one to see. I licked one, and it is sweet. It is very sweet. It's like candy. So once they're up there and they remove all the sticky stuff, your peony is actually able to open. I'm telling you this because I think there's a lot of experiences that we have in life and that people have in life where we're like that. We're closed hard, we want to open, but we've got some outer crust on us, we've got some stickiness, we've got some stuff where we just can't move forward until that's all cleaned off. And like a peony, or not like a peony, we insist a lot of times on doing it ourselves. But a peony can't do it itself. There's something about the way the universe is set up and the nature of things. Human scale is ultimately up to you to make sure things get done, and to make sure your dreams come true, and to make sure you're living the life you want to live and the life you're supposed to live. Ultimately, you're your biggest fan, and I do believe that you're your biggest. This is what the painting means, by the way. It's the same thing. Peonies to me are like struggle and strain, but they've got to have that relationship, that symbiotic relationship, that thing that happens, that natural thing that happens, that they begin to open up, and then you can get their full fragrance and get the full bounty of them and the full beauty of them. And you kind of, in a way, if we're going to be our own ants too, we've got to do that. We've got to lick our wounds clean. We need to focus on blooming and opening up. And sometimes, and we know it, it requires outside things. With me, the outside thing that I do is I read a lot of books. I try to have people around me that I feel support me and love me unconditionally. That, well, I'm not, if I was a psycho, I wouldn't expect them to, but you know what I mean? So they are my ants, and the things I surround myself are my ants. The books I read are my ants. They're cleaning me off and cleansing me out and allowing me to open up more and more. So I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm hoping I explained it well enough. That's what these paintings means. The ones that are in the white vase are peonies that, there's some that are closed, but are peonies that are on their later stage of being set up and are being mantled, or if you will, presented. Okay, and then the other peonies that are all open, I think there's one that's closed, are lying there, and they're kind of in a, on the second picture, they're kind of in a state of, what would you call it? They're not being set up, they're not in a presentable stage yet. They simply are. This is what they are, and they're in the very first stage of, they're just going to come out. They're just going to start to present something. They're not even fully unfolded or anything like that. All of these, including the ones that were going into the vase, are not fully unfolded. They are in process. And the light in both of the pictures is very brightly coming from the future or heaven side of the painting. Future and kind of heaven, the right side of the painting. And so I hope I've explained that well enough. So if you really think about it and you look at these pictures, this is about process, and it's about the beautiful processes of becoming your absolute maximum, to your absolute full potential, but you're in the middle of it, you're still working on it, and the symbiotic relationship we have with bringing things into our lives to help us to do that, to help us be our fullest. So welcome, Peonies, and I hope you really love the paintings and enjoy the videos.